Hey everybody, what's up? It's Alex. Welcome to the Laser Source Podcast, the number one podcast if you want to be sexually assaulted by Matt.
Oh God.
It's Black Friday week. You know what that means. Time to jam a bunch of stuff down your throats that you can spend money on. We've got a big fat list for you today, and we're really excited to share them with you. We have the organization, thanks to Kyle, split into returning deals and new deals. And as Kyle continues to fill out the new deals section, we're going to take a look at some of the returning deals. It's just some of the things that we've recommended in the past. We're going to hit them on a quick recap because they are still a solid deal. So we're going to run through these, and then we'll talk about some of the new stuff, including a bunch of stuff from our sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus, which we will hold your hand on a little guided tour through a little bit later on in the episode. But first, let me say hi to my co-hosts. Matt's here. Hello, Matthew. Kyle's here. Hello, Mr. Kyle.
Bow, 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 bow.
Meow, 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 meow. And Anthony. And yeah, that's it. All right. Apparently nobody's got anything to say. Also, what's up to everybody in chat? I'll just say hi to you real quick. Vince is here. Andrew. Anthony's here in two ways. Sam, what up, Sam? Good to see you. Scott A. John Uffring. Bronson's here, hanging out. Everybody buy some. Is there a Black Friday deal going on laser tape right now?
Yeah, it's black laser tape. Buy it full price.
It's already pretty competitively priced versus other versions.
If you need laser tape, fuck yourself this year. That's what Anthony has to say. Brian Reynolds, what's good? Resin, great to see you. As always, Yuri's here, right on time. And I think I'm just about caught up. What's up? Oh, Jason is here. Hello, Mr. Jason. And ET Laserworks, Gear Ant. You guys are rolling in at the last second here. Cutting it close. But good evening, one and all.
They just know when we start normally.
Yeah, now that you've got the LED lights on, it looks good.
Nice. It's crisp.
Yeah.
Now you're just being visually assaulted.
Yeah, I feel far less at risk sexually now with the colorful lights. All right, guys, let's not spend any more time talking about Matt's predatory instincts and more time looking at Amazon. Returning this Black Friday, guys. Diode lasers, xTool S1 with rotary, riser, and air assist. Looks like a $400 discount. Do any of us actually own this laser?
Nope.
I've had a couple of people from the community buy it just prior to and during the Black Friday, or not Black Friday, Amazon deal days. And they are quite happy with it. As far as I can surmise from the experiences shared to me,
sure.
It holds the same quality level as the D1 Pro and the F1 and F1 Ultra. So
Nice.
just a different tool for a different tool.
That's like a deceptively large bed size too. At 24 by 15 inches.
Yeah, it's a little bit hunkier for sure.
Yeah, it kind of like doesn't look like it in the pictures, but that's a good size deal right there. For sure.
Well, yeah. If you consider like a typical gantry diodes like 400 by 400 or just under that,
yeah,
that would be like 16 inches square. Mm-hmm. This is like extended on one axis essentially.
And then one thing I was going to ask, Anthony, you're like the diode king of the four of us. I feel like what's the experience you've had? Because like the rotary, if you go back to that first picture, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've used your rotary to make a ton of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know there's a lot of people who want to do cups and stuff. What do you think?
The RA2 Pro is an outstanding rotary for diode systems. I think no matter what brand you have, whether it be like I use it on my Niji machines and I have 3 of those that I've used that RA2 Pro with. And then I've also used it with a different brand of laser, and they all work well. Like, it's plug and play with no matter what system you use. So if you have just an atom stack or whatever it is that you have, I think the RA2 Pro is worth the look because it's very well priced, it's well built, and it's compatible with pretty much all the machines. So
Yeah, ooh, look at that! My God, just
Yeah.
$11.
There it is. You could just get this if you already have a diode.
Yep. And it's
I'll grab a
very,
link and send this over to Kyle.
Yeah, and
very well built. It's got the rollers that I haven't really used, but it comes with a couple different sets of chucks you can see in the image there. So like the chuck bits, it has a couple different sets of them. And then there are on Thingiverse a bunch of different designs for STLs that you can print to come up with different attachments for like grabbing larger cups. Like I grabbed a file and downloaded it and printed it that helped me out with like Stanley size tumblers because the chuck or the jaws on that chuck won't open up far enough.
How is the process of like getting this to run on something like a Niji? Right, with xTool it must be plug and play, but
yeah, it's plug and play on Niji too because it has the
nice.
It comes with the 4 to 6 pin adapter, so you just unplug your Y motor plug from the board and plug it straight into that, and it's butter.
Nope.
All right. I know we're still talking about the xTool, but Cuban Crack said, I know this is a laser podcast, but do you have any good 3D printer deals? Because I'm looking to print.
We're going to get there.
That's what I was going to say. I know it's on the list, so just hang tight, buddy. Because he's got the Ender 3 right now, and it's just antiquated, which, accurate. Not a bad machine, just antiquated.
Next up, OhmTech 12x20 comes with light burn. It's $1899.99. This is a fair deal considering what it is. You get a Ruida controller. It's a good bit more expensive than the K40, but I don't think anybody in their right mind would recommend a K40 to anybody anymore for any reason.
We have it at least for 2 years.
Yeah, these are nice little units. They're barely small enough to be what I would consider a desktop unit, but you could put it on a desk and it'll do stuff. It could make a good, decent tumbler only machine if you have a rotary that fits it. And it's on sale. So that's a pretty good one. We are going to kind of pop through these pretty quickly because these are all things that we've looked at in previous shows. I would encourage you guys too to go check out some of the previous buying guide episodes that we've done. There's a whole playlist for it on the channel, and a ton of that stuff is very likely to be on sale again if it was in one of those past steps. So definitely go watch those.
All the links should still be active to take you right to where you need to go.
Yeah. We've sunk a good deal of time into the buying guide at this point too, so you can always check that out too. And there's links to that at lasereverything.net right up at the top. This looks like the same thing except 16x24, so substantially more space for what looks like pretty much the same price.
More space and more watts of power. That's not a bad price.
The only thing that I'll kind of say that I say every time we talk about OhmTech is, you can spend money or you can spend time. And if you buy the OhmTech, you're spending time. So just be prepared for that. And it'll need a little elbow grease to be as good as it can be. But I built an entire business on one of these OhmTechs. So
it may also need some lithium grease.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to need some white lithium grease for sure. And then last but not least, looks like we have the 20x28 here as well. This is the exact machine that I built my business on, probably a little newer, a little updated. It looks like this one comes with a potentially
with light burn
good
and
chiller.
a chiller.
Yeah, it's a CW5200, they claim, so it should actually be chilling things. This is only $800 more, and again, a very substantial increase in your work area. So if you're looking to get started, these gantry machines are a really easy, low-cost first step into gantry CO2. So, it's going to show up and it's going to have problems, and you're just going to need to figure it out. I mean, that's what you get for $27.99. But it's not that bad, and it teaches you a lot about how these lasers work and how to maintain them and care for them. And that's invaluable experience, at least in my story anyway. I've, being faced with those challenges are what made me good at what I do. So if you're up for it, they're here. They've always been here, and they haven't changed a whole lot, but
or you could have like
outstanding
luck like I did and have one that works out of the box perfectly. I haven't had any complaints about my tech. I love it.
Sure. Dual source lasers, the xTool F1, F1 Basic, and Ultra. So we can take a look at a couple of these. So here's the F1, here's the system. I really like mine came with this extractor too, and I use the extractor on a ton of different lasers, not just the F1. It's actually a solid little extractor for $16.99. And I've said this multiple times in other episodes. I never thought that the F1 Ultra replaced the F1. I definitely think they're separate machines and very different price ranges. And the F1 is perfectly capable and handy little machine, far more portable than the Ultra, and I really like mine. I really like it a lot. I can easily recommend it at $1,600. I think is very fair for what you're getting and the just compact nature of it. And does this come with the RA2 Pro too? Look at that.
Like it, yeah,
dude. It's a pretty
solid little kit.
Yeah, and that's right there. That's craft show ready, man. Like that's something you could take. You spend that $1,700, and you take that to events, and you'll make your money back in no time at all.
Yeah, definitely. The other link for the F1 was the F1 Basic, which is literally just the unit. It could be a little difficult to use in this configuration just because this exhaust fan here is just going to blow that out into nothing. So if you do pick this up, make sure that you have some kind of plan in place to deal with that. But otherwise, there's a lot you can do with just the machine too. You don't need all the bells and whistles. It's perfectly capable on its own as long as you have some kind of plan in place to deal with exhaust. I mean, it should be good to go. Fiber laser lenses. How you doing, Kyle? Just checking in.
Almost there.
Okay, no worries. So we've got a couple different cloud ray lenses. It looks like they all link to Amazon, so we should be able to just click one. But if you click through some of these various sizes here, you'll see various deals for Black Friday. Let's just test that theory really quick. There's the 70, here's the 200. So it looks like they've all had at least a little bit of a price cut. $10 off is fine. Normally you'll find these for $50 to $70 on Cloud Ray's website directly, but they take way longer to ship, and they're probably going to charge you for shipping more often than not. So you do get the Amazon shipping kind of built into the price here. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm perfectly content taking $20 off and paying Bezos to drop off some new lenses. Remember, the smaller the lens, the smaller the dot size, so the more concentrated, the more focused your power is going to be, making it feel more powerful. And the larger it goes, the larger that depth of field. So if you're trying to get around curves, a larger workspace can really help you do that because more of your laser is going to be in focus as you're changing depth. That said, if I could literally sit down one-on-one with each and every one of you, I would tell you, looking into your soul, that you should own like every single lens on this page. I've really enjoyed the conveniences of having such a wide selection of lenses, and as I've used them over the years, there really are lenses that are good at doing very specific things, and having the option to choose between those lenses has made things a lot easier for me in the long run. So even if you don't get like every lens they make, you grab a 70, grab a 150, grab a 250, maybe grab a 300 if you need it. Try to have at least a spread, a decent spread of lenses, because they really do change the way your machine operates. Does anybody have any input on lenses before we kick on?
I was just going to say, I love having, the spread was what I was going to mention. Right now I've got a 110, a 200, and a 300. And the 300, if you do leatherette, like hat patches, or if you're doing like the metallic leatherettes, like where it's the foils underneath. Literally, you hit that. It's hard to mess them up when you use the 300 lens. So it's really, really smart to grab that. Also, grab an extra lens right now because like $70-$80. Like if there's one lens you're using all the time, get a backup in case something cracks, in case it gets schmutz all over it, whatever you want to do, you know. But it's not bad to have a couple of things like that as backups. So, just saying.
Yeah, cool, good. I didn't even hear Anthony's smoke detector.
Yeah, my bad. It just started that up, so I didn't
even hear it. Safety 2-pack foaming fire extinguisher spray cans. This is a big Kyle thing. He hits on this every time that we do a sale video. And they're just, you spray and pray, guys. It's like an aerosol can. You whip it out and you point it at the disaster and empty the can, you know? So, Kyle, do you have any input on this while we're looking at it? I don't really know what to say about it. It's a can. It stops fires.
Yeah, think about it like a can of like...
Whoop ass?
Yeah, for fires. It's super easy to clean up usually. This style of fire extinguisher, super easy to clean up. So it's not as caustic as your typical chemical fire extinguisher that you would have, which those are usually the next cheapest option. And the problem with those is when you spray them into the machine, they will eat into the paint and the metal and all the wires and everything else. And it just absolutely destroys it. So if you've ever seen like a car fire where they use the same type of fire extinguisher to put out fires under the hood, when they go to the salvage yard to see if it's fixable or get it towed home and get it worked on, it just eats away at all the plastic materials, all the mounts, all the bushings, all the wiring, just gets cooked. So this could actually save your laser after you hit the e-stop and put out the fire, versus just nuking everything that stuff touches. So there you go.
Nice. 2 for $15.98 or 3 for $21.52. So you get a 20% off discount either way, depending on how much stuff you have that could catch on fire.
Yeah, I think those are like $10 at our local hardware store, so that's a pretty good deal right there.
Nice. The smart plugs, guys, I've added these in past lists. They're really, really nice for turning on and off lights, lasers, whatever. They work with Alexa, Google Home. So I can be like, you know, hey, Alexa, turn on the fiber laser, and then it will do it. And that's very, very nice, because I can just leave those switches in the on position. And they also work when you're not on the same network as the thing that you're trying to turn on and off, which is nice. So if I like leave something on, I can turn it off while I'm away, which is kind of cool too. So I do like these $5 a piece if you get the 4-pack at $19.99. Just infinite uses for those. Kyle, I'm going to bother you again to have your air purifier conversation, your quick recap. We do go into, these are returning deals, so we're kind of breezing over them, but in past buying guide episodes, we do go far more in depth and have longer conversations about these items, so make sure you check those out. But go ahead, Kyle.
So essentially the idea behind these is for your health. So these aren't for like filtering out the crap that you generate from lasering stuff. This is for getting whatever doesn't go out your exhaust so that you have clean air to breathe. It's mostly for sediment. It's not really going to be pulling out any fumes or anything that you generate. But the idea is to just reduce the amount of sooty crap that you're inhaling, because at the end of the day, your health is super important. These are fantastic for if you have like a waiting area for customers, next to your work desk, in the middle of your work area, whatever. I actually prefer having a couple of these spread out as opposed to having one big one, because then you're not relying on the airflow making it all the way around the room. You can rely on some smaller ones to kind of share the workload. I noticed I've been running these for the last 2.5 years. I have 2 through my shop, and I have one up in my living space above me. And it is enormously helpful. I feel so much healthier just having less crap in the air. So, yeah.
Nice. And I am, just in case you guys have not been to the buying guide, and for those of you in chat, I'm sure you have, but lasereverything.net, it's right up here at the top, buying guide. Give that a quick click, and you can find a ton of the stuff that we're talking about, plus other variations on our buying guide right here. So if we go into laser equipment and compressors and air, no. Let's see. One of these categories. Not laser accessories. No. Hold on. I'll find it. PPE and laboratory? Yes. Air purifiers and filters right here, guys. So there's that 200S air purifier, which is slightly smaller than the one that we were showing on Amazon just now. There's also the larger 600S and the InvisiClean Aura 2. This is the one that I use in my shops. Miranda picked this one out, and I also use like a network of them to kind of work together to clean the air. But always check the buying guide, because I bet a ton of this stuff is on sale too. So if I click this, I'm just guessing here, of course it's not, but always check the buying guide, because you might be able to find, like, even if something that you were looking for isn't on sale, maybe a different one is, and we have a bunch of options on the buying guide for you. So make sure you check those out, because we have put a lot of work into getting that organized for you as well. The next one's all me. It's the Sony ZV-1F. It's still super cheap. It's still probably my #1 recommendation for a shop camera if you need that. Let's see, where are we at? $398 for a really nice zoom lens. It's a 2.0 with the Zeiss glass on there. These are they're solid little cameras, guys. They take really nice videos, especially if you have an Etsy shop. Video is like all up on Etsy right now. If you don't have videos of your products, like, they're not getting shown. But it also takes really, really nice stills for product listings for your website or your Shopify store. And it's just got a larger sensor. It's got a larger sensor. This has a 1-inch sensor instead of some tiny fraction of an inch, which is what you'll usually see on cell phones, and they do much better in low light, so you can get away with different lighting conditions. I could go on and on and on about the benefits of having a dedicated camera device, but I do recommend this is something that you pick up, and it goes on sale like clockwork. So here, of course, we'll see it's on the Black Friday deal, but you can find this at just about any excuse Amazon has to have a sale. This item goes on sale with it. There have been newer versions of the ZV series since this one, but this one is still being manufactured. And so they're still making new ones. You're not getting like a super old camera or anything. And it just performs. It does really, really well. And I would highly recommend it if you need a shop camera, but you're not like a photographer. You don't want to invest hundreds or thousands of dollars in camera gear. Just having a decent dedicated camera could do a lot for your imaging game in your business. So I'll leave that one with you guys. Scrolling down here, I'm not even going to click. I think I'm going to skip over just a couple of these at the end, like the centrifugal fans. You guys have seen these. They're from VivoSun. They are hefty boys. They move a lot of air. Remember, centrifugal fans are for the static air pressure, right? So it's getting the air and moving it somewhere. And then the inline fans, the axial fans, are your boosters, just to get air away from the laser as fast as possible and feed your centrifugal fans. We just talked about this. What was the episode, Matt, that we just published? The CO2 Galvo episode, I think it was.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where we just talked about the centrifugal fan is the one that I've got towards the end of my shop that pulls. And then we've got just the inlines kind of pushing the air to it faster just to help keep everything moving. Both of them are super, super cheap and super, super good for you.
Yep. And we've got those USB ports, guys. These are tested to work with EasyCAD boards. EasyCAD boards are kind of picky about the hub that you use. If you're using any kind of USB hub to expand your your USB access to your PC, a lot of people end up coming to us asking why their laser isn't talking to their computer. One of the first things we always tell them to do is remove any hubs or extensions like USB extension cords they have connected to the computer, because the EasyCAD board is just so picky about which ones it will talk to and which ones it won't. This one, we all have this. We all have multiple of these, and they absolutely 100% work with EasyCAD boards, which is why we recommend them. There are probably other ones that do, but I can't make a list for you because these are the ones that I have. So if you want to be absolutely sure that your hub is going to work with EasyCAD controllers, pick one of these up. They're really good, super fast, and I've had mine for a long time. The guys have had theirs for a long time. They're just solid. So that's that. Looks like we got a couple monitors. Who's got the LG Ultra Wide?
I added that last time around. Yeah. So it's a bog standard ultra wide. It's got good color reproduction, and it gives you a crap ton of real estate to work on. These are particularly handy if you don't have space for like 2 big monitors on your desk, but you have space for 1.5. And also if you're finding yourself working on product listings, the added real estate of being able to have 2 windows open next to each other is really nice.
Solid. And then I think just the last big deals day or whatever Amazon's calling it now, I did go on a little bit of a rant about the Asus Pro Art displays. If you are doing printing, be it, DTF or sublimation or whatever, these Pro Art displays are really, really good. They come color calibrated out of the factory, and I just love them. I can't imagine using anything else. Of course, I am not everybody's use case. I am a videographer and a YouTuber, so I care a lot more about this than some people. But if you do work in the color space, this may be important to you. If so, I highly recommend these. And then we have another option for an ultra wide here. It looks like a Kyle ad, and it's by Acer. Super cheap, $250, guys. Probably cheaper than you're going to spend on 2 separate crappy monitors. So why not grab the ultra wide? Black Friday deal, $50 off. Not too shabby. Scrolling down here, metal business cards. Oh man, who did this? Like, did you pull these up, Kyle? The metal business cards.
Those were the same ones as last time.
Yeah,
did you check the links?
Yep, they're all on sale right now for 12%
oh my god,
coupon code.
You are a saint, dude. Especially
these are those, like, they're all of them. The eBamas ones are the ones that we all love. I particularly like the super thick 0.8 millimeter ones, but all of them are great. They're all good standbys, and you get them ridiculously quick. So
I just did a job with 160, I think, of their stainless steel ones, 0.5 millimeter, and those things, I've tried other brands, and I get them, and they've got like a film on them on both sides, and you peel the film, and the film's in great shape, but underneath the film there's scratches in the metal, and so I ended up not being able to use those cards. I ordered the Ibamaz, and they come in little sleeves, perfect condition, dude. And they just, you can crank through them all day long. They're so much better than anything else out there right now.
I definitely recommend getting a few of each of these if you don't have any. But if you're just looking to get started with metal business cards, the 0.8s are extremely hefty. That's almost a millimeter thick piece of aluminum. You only get 10 of them for the $15. It's $1.50 a piece. You can see the count cost right here. The 0.4s are also very, very good and are only costing you 34 cents a piece. It's a substantial drop in the per piece price, and you still have a really, really quality card. The 0.8s can be really expensive, even for customers. They're going to be like, why is this so expensive? You know, the 0.4 is a really, really nice middle ground. It's also the one that's the hardest to find, in my opinion. I feel like I have the hardest time finding the 0.4s. I feel like I can always find 0.8s and I can always find 0.2s. The 0.4s come in and out of stock. So if you haven't picked up some 0.4s, maybe consider grabbing some now while we do have a live link for them. The 0.2s, guys, can be good for customers if this is really what they're looking for. They I think they tend to scratch a little bit easier. They're very thin that you can bend them with your like 2 fingers. So just know what you're getting. I primarily use the 0.2s myself, again, personally, for a lot of testing applications, whether I'm trying to get the DPI right for like a photo, or I'm trying to diagnose an issue with a Galvo scan head, or I just want to make sure I'm in focus before I mark something. 0.2s can be really, really good for that. I don't usually show them to customers first unless they really, really want something cheap. Here you can see the per cost. They don't even bother doing it per item, but it's 14 cents each, guys. So this is very little aluminum in each card, and they come in much larger packages. So just make sure that you know the difference between these three and you know what you're getting when you place the order. Personally, for customer work, for something that you're going to show, I would probably recommend not going below the 0.45 millimeters. And again, the 0.8s are just like the thick, chonky boys. And those ones are really good too. You look like you want to say something, Anthony.
Yeah, the black 0.45s are the ones that I order 100 at a time, and I hand those out to everybody. That's what I make my own personal business cards out of. I like the blue ones, but the black, I think, is just got a little bit of just a little smoother, classier appearance to it. So those are the ones that I print out, and it's like 18 seconds per card, and it always has that wow factor. Whenever I hand somebody my business card, they're like, "Whoa, you made this?" Yep, sure did.
Yeah, I feel like with the 0.8s, if you hand somebody one, you're like, yeah, but I'm gonna need that back though.
Right? Yeah, you can borrow this. But...
yeah. So that was a longer talk than I was expecting to give you guys on metal business cards. And then we've got rapid fire here. I still hear Kyle typing. I'm trying to stall for him, but also not bore you guys. It's a tightrope to walk. We're gonna just run through some blanks really quick. 55.11. Let's see, do we get a per cost on this? You could do the math. It's under $1 a piece for 72 pieces of slate coasters. That's nice. You just stock up and have like little piles of them. Honestly, that's probably something I should do for the new showroom. Then we've got square only here. $39.19 for 48 pieces. Slightly more expensive, but still seems like a pretty good deal. Oh, 82 cents per count. Is that over here too? No, it's not. I'm not crazy. They literally don't do the math on that one. So the other one's probably like 70-ish cents a piece. Then we have another 48 count. This one comes with squares and circles. And you are looking at, let's see, 42 by 48, like 90 cents-ish a piece. And then the cork coasters. I knew Kyle would include this. He's the cork boy. He loves his cork. $20 gets you 100, guys. Super duper economical on those. Those are only 20 cents a piece. Really nice. And of course, they come in a couple different configurations, and it looks like a lot of them are available via Prime. Have you guys ever sold a cork coaster?
Yeah.
I've not. Yeah, you have?
Yeah, I sold a bunch of them. I think I sold like 50 to a bar where like they're known for getting torn up. Like it's not a...
They're consumable after a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's a honky-tonk bar, basically, but they wanted their menu on it, and that was it. They just wanted to be able to toss it out there and say, hey, your menu's on there, so I zapped a QR code on it, boop, and that was it. So that was kind of like their menu. So, I mean, when you're paying like $1.25 for a cork coaster, you know, like, not bad.
The nice thing about cork is they don't break it, they fall off like the table, right? So you're not having to worry about dealing with shattered slate across the floor and somebody cutting themselves or whatever.
Yeah, or breaking glasses on them is the big thing too. So like people who are drunk putting their stuff on top of a square thing that's got little pads underneath and it tilts and falls, and now you got like Kyle said, spills and stuff shattering. Yeah. It's kind of meh.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Yeah, Bronson looks like he's been having some success with cork too.
Yeah, he said he's sold like 5 times more. And the thing is, they're cheap. So if I tell you I can do them for $1.50 a piece or something like that, like I'm making $1 a piece off of them. And with the CO2 Galvo, marking them is like, you know, or even like an xTool or something. There's so many ways you can mark them too. Yeah.
All right, here we are. New deals and 3D printing. Speaking of Bronson, so bro, this is my 3D printer, dude. It's dope. I love it. It's super easy to use. Anthony, you're muted.
I don't want to hear the chirp. But yeah, that's a good price too. I was just shopping those things, and that's
wasn't that like $600 the other day?
Yep,
yeah,
sure was. And it's a rock solid machine. I've probably gone through like 6 or 7 liters of resin at this point. Just in like testing and kind of like figuring out what I'm doing and stuff like that. It can be, especially if you're used to like FDM logic, it can be a little confusing just like getting supports right. Again, everything you're printing is upside down, right? So you have to kind of like account for reversed gravity when you're building supports and stuff. But it works, dude. It works. Prints really look like this. I think that's the best part, is that prints really look like that when they come off the printer.
Yeah.
And that's just like super cool to me. So
they also have that ultra clear resin. I think that's on sale too.
Also,
yeah.
Let me ask you, Alex, because I think out of us, you're the one who's messed with resin the most now.
Sure.
That's where you need to have the the fume extractor, right? Or if not the fume extractor, at least something that clears the air up a little bit, right?
Yeah, Elegoo sells one. I could probably find it on their store in 2 seconds if we come in here and just take a peek. They sell one. I have zero complaints about it. It does its job.
Resin saying that this is the resin printer to go with for sure.
Yeah, word. Let's see. Because that is a good point. I'd like to talk about
dispensing one going on right now.
Let's try just filter. Mini air purifier. No, this is a big one. It's called the Mars Mate. There it is. This is the one that I use, and it does its job. It's super quiet. I can't even hear it. But I honestly, dude, like I felt like I was in for it when people were warning me about like the resin smells and stuff. It might be because of my square footage and how tall my ceilings are, but I really haven't had that much of an issue with it. Of course, I'm not in like a little garage, right? So I feel like that has to be accounted for. We're in 1,000 square feet. I've got, 12-foot, 13-foot ceilings or whatever. So there's plenty of air for this to be kind of like dissipated in. But that said, I did pick up the purifier and we do run it all the time. And it does what it says it does. It's not like a crazy powerful fan or anything. It just kind of sits there and hums away and does whatever it does, and I don't have any complaints about it, especially for the $130 they're asking for or whatever.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, totally works. The only bummer is that on the Saturn 4 Ultra, one of the things that you can get is like a heater that's about this size, which I also bought because I thought, like, why not get the heater? It's right here, the Smart Mini heater for resin printing or whatever. That's supposed to like make your prints better because it's like warm inside. The mount for this puts that heater right in front of the vent to suck air out into the filter, which is kind of a bummer. So you can't use both at once. I've thought about like modifying my case to like be able to mount that heater somewhere inside of it that isn't right there. It's a poor design choice. It's not a make or break thing for me, but it was aggravating. So that's just something to know if you plan on resin printing and you want to heat, you have to heat or purify the air. We ended up going with the air purifier mostly because we hooked it up first and just didn't want to take it apart to put the heater in. So that's why we did that. But if you have a small square footage space or low ceilings and not a lot of airflow, obviously I'd recommend you go with the purifier anyway. If you have a little more leeway and you have some options, just know it's going to be one or the other. So I will warn you about that while we're talking about it.
Yeah. And Bunny Washer and Resin agreed with this. So valid, right? Bunny Washer said, so the way resin works, you may not be allergic to it at first, but after repeated exposures, you can become allergic to it. And that's where like you start getting like coughs and stuff like that. You won't be able to be around resin again once you got an allergy to it. So
yeah, definitely something that I'd want to avoid. I think that safety wise, the thing I've had the most experience with is just like the burns from the resin itself. It is pretty caustic and the burns hurt. So You know, where I literally like, I wear the lab coat that Kyle and I wore in lasered unironically when I'm working with the resin, just because I'm usually in the shop in a t-shirt.
You put on the bow tie?
I don't, but I should. I
should
really wear the bow tie
I'd like
more
to
often.
see
I'd probably do better work.
We're gonna make a T-Rex. Like, I want to see that.
Maybe we can have a resin print Friday at some point. We can see Alex in the lasered get up doing some resin.
I was doing I'm doing some, and I'm not going to talk about it at length here because it's off topic and off channel topic, but I've been doing some experiments with hydrogen peroxide lately. And I've been getting really nasty, like caustic burns from that too. So, I've been like kind of, no, it's a separate thing for another time.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, it's pretty nasty stuff too. So we've just been wearing the lab coats has been our solution for that and the resin, just so that we're not like getting it on our.
All right, what else we got on the list? Let's keep it moving. We got a lot.
We got a fire blanket. It's not that bad.
Okay.
It's kind of a lot. Fire blanket. We've definitely talked about fire blanket before. Fire blanket. Kyle, go.
Sent that one in.
Oh, this is Matt.
You sent this one? Matt, go.
Yeah. So that's actually one of the ones I have on my screen. So if you are somebody who, like, the can of spray is great for Galvo lasers, it's awesome because you've got an open space. You can probably knock it to the floor, put it into some kind of receptacle and spray it down or have that room. But if you've seen like acrylic catch on fire and then it drops down into your bed and you've been cutting acrylic for the past 3 hours and then you've got like an acrylic fire, you need to get rid of the oxygen and get rid of it. So basically tossing that fire blanket on there. I know in multiple groups I've seen that this is a lifesaver, quite literally. And a 2-pack for $20 gives you the option to have that for lots of, like, basically you should have one here at your Galvo bench, and you could have the other one over the CO2. So it's a no-brainer. I mean, 40 by 40, you can toss that thing on top and you're going to be safe. So that's it.
Word. We like it. And so I added these. I tried to get some new stuff that I have in the shop that I haven't talked about before, because you guys, especially the live crowd, you've heard me rehash the same things over and over and over again. Every time that there's a sale somewhere, we kind of talk about the same stuff. And I wanted to show you something different that I use almost every day and I almost never talk about because it's not really laser related. But they're EBL's lithium ion, like, rechargeable batteries. Super nice to have in the shop. I've got so many like little tools and things that just take AA's, AAA's, 9 volts. They make all three. I only have the AA's and AAA's linked, but the 9 volts are on their Amazon store if you want to visit. The one important thing that I'm going to talk about all these at once. So it's just AA's, AAA's, and then the mix pack. The one thing I will mention really quick is that most electronics that take AA's and AAA's are expecting 3 to 6 volts of power, right? That's 2 to 4 AA or AAA batteries. And regular NIMH rechargeable batteries do not supply the 1.5 volts required for most of that stuff to work right. They usually only supply around 1.2 volts. So you end up undervolting your electronics, whatever it is, whether it's like a laser thermometer or, a caliper, whatever you're jamming these things into. For that reason, I really like specifically the lithium rechargeable batteries because they do provide the full 1.5 volts per battery. And so things work as expected. It's something that I've had trouble with more often than I ever would have expected. So I really like these. I think they're worth the price. They definitely pay for themselves over time. They come with a nice charger, and EBL's a good brand that's been around for a long time. So yeah, I that's that. So that's 3 off the list. Boom. 1, 2, 3. I linked all 3 of them. While I was looking at EBL stuff, I noticed they had a power station. This is something that Matt and I have talked at length about before. Here you're getting 1,000 watt hours, I believe, for $526, which is a fair price. It's $200 off of their list price, which is pretty good. You get 2 AC outlets, so you can hit a laser and a laptop if you need to, and that'll last you hours. Also, one that I actually have kicking around the shop, which I wanted to include, was this Jackery one. The only reason I own this is because I had a job where I had to engrave like 50 of these with the UV, and I fudged one, so I had to buy a new one. So I kept the fudged one, but I can run lasers off this again for hours with no problem. And this one's only $284 right now, which is super cheap. So if you do need something to take to shows or whatever, you want to take your laser on the road, this could be a good, viable, low barrier to entry option to get you started. It won't last quite as long as one of the 1,000 watt-hour versions, but it will take a power strip and it will charge your laptop and run a laser at the same time, because I've done it.
Quick thing, Directed Tech said those EBL batteries caught on fire inside his Nikon flash, and they were unresponsive when they tried to come.
I would also, if you're looking for a different brand, if we're going by Directed Tech here, I also really like Rayovac, makes really good ones. So if you need another brand, you can hit up Rayovac, and then of course you can pay like double or triple for like the Energizer Duracell ones. They all have offerings. Rayovac's quite a bit cheaper. So if you're looking for a different option other than EBL, hit up Rayovac because they make some decent ones as well. So yeah, so I just want to, again, we've talked about these just like ad nauseum on the channel. Do you have any input on this while we're here, Matt? Because I know this is a thing you're particularly interested in.
I've been looking. I actually added one to the list. Let me share my screen real quick so I can should have already had this up. My bad. So I'm going to share mine real quick. And so this is just another brand. Oh, I clicked the wrong screen. I'm so dumb. Or no, did I? Entire screen. This one. Share. And then add to stage. I don't know why yours screen. Can you make mine big on yours? Like that's a you thing, Alex. There you go. All right, sweet. Okay. So yeah, so this is just Anchor, and if you notice, this one is $629, and it's the 1,000 watt, but it's got a solar panel. Yep. Don't know what just happened again. We're back on Alex's. There you go. All right. So I was gonna say this is the Anchor Solix, and I really like Anchor. Alex and I have talked about them as a brand, and especially for if you're going out to a show, this actually gives you a 100-watt recharge, so you can actually plug this in as you're working. So in case you do have like a really heavy day of use, and then on top of that, if you notice, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different outputs for like 3-pronged anything like 110. So just saying, I think it's really nice, and that's basically just what I was looking at, and this is the one that I added to the list. And then I'll keep those other things up there a secret for now. So there you go.
Word.
Oh, nope. Is that it? What did you do? Freaking Alex.
Okay. There's me.
There you go.
Whoop. Huzzah. All right. Welcome back. All right. Anchor Solix. That was there as well. Very nice. Duracell 76A batteries. Who's this?
Not me, but...
Oh, it's me. These are LR44s. So I added these just for calipers because I just bought a big box of them because all of my caliper batteries were like, they all died at like the same exact time. And they're on sale. Yay. So if you need some LR44s, boom, there you go. These are kind of cool. So I have some office stuff in here because we have been renovating the show floor. So I wanted to just talk very briefly about these. It's a hole punch. You can punch holes in things. I'd recommend it for laminated stuff that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, like being able to flip through different fonts or default graphics that you have in like a little binder. So they have hole punches. They're on sale. I also picked up one of these. It's a T-slot punch. I was like, I wonder how they make those T-slots because I have a bunch of hangers on my wall now. And it turns out it's just a hole punch. And these are pretty cool because you can get like, yeah, you can get a bunch of like business cards almost printed from like Vistaprint and then grab this and punch holes in it and like staple little baggies to it with blanks in them something. And you'd be able to hang them on the wall with like the nice little T-slot thing and have it look like all official or whatever. So these are pretty dope. I didn't know they existed until I had to look for them, but there it is. It's a Black Friday deal. So if you need one of those, there's that. I also needed a new paper cutter because I lost mine and I replaced it with the same exact one I had before. Again, this will all come together as we get a little further down into the list. $10, you need to cut some paper, boom, there you go. The Fibron, I really liked it. It's lasted a long time for me. I also included the Amazon Basics laminator. Again, these are really good for showing customers different fonts or whatever. So if you have like 10 or 15 that you use over and over and over again, show the customers those first. And then, who are you flipping off?
Huh? What are you talking about? We're working here. Keep going.
Yeah. Show the customer those first, and then you know, you don't have to like sift through 500 million fonts on like your computer in front of them or whatever. So just like a basic laminator. This is the 9-inch version, which will do regular sheets of paper if you need it for some reason. They also have a 12-inch version that you can buy, which isn't linked down here for some stupid reason. They're both under $30. Seems like a good thing to just have on hand. And then, of course, if you plan on laminating, you need some laminating pouches. This was the best deal that I found on them. It's the pouch, like pocket type, so you can just drop your paper into the laminating pouch.
I love my laminator.
Run it through. There you go. Laura loves her laminator.
Laura
so
approved.
if you need to do some laminating, there you go.
She'll bring you some
10
snacks
foot,
while you laminate. It'll be wonderful.
10 gauge is all right. Who's this?
Oh yeah, this is all me, buddy. So
there you go.
You guys have seen me talked about these before, but now they actually have the 3-pronged 10-gauge extension cords, which are so freaking sweet. If you are using a like if you've got the Galvo bench, you can basically plug all 3 in here, 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's just anything that you need, man. These things are so sweet, and for a 2-pack for $50, I mean, it's pretty like no brainer. Also for like the little things that you need. So if you've got like where I've got the hat press and the bamboo printer over there, what I call the hot bench. You guys have seen it in the videos where I did the unpacking and making stuff with the sublimation printer. I literally just have one of these run over there for when I need something like a heat gun plugged in, or if I'm plugging in the hat press, or if I'm, just something really easy that doesn't need to be plugged into something that has like a whole need all the time. So it's just really easy, $10, smart thing to have around. And it's 10 gauge. So you could literally, it's like the same thickness as the wires in your wall. So always good to have, just saying.
Yeah. I went on a little bit of a like extension cord binge actually. So I'm glad that you added this, because I just wanted to show people that nobody sent me anything. I spent my own money on a bunch of these on November 5th. Great. So I got a bunch of different lengths. I got some they even make little 1 foot ones. Dude, do you know how many times I've been like a foot short of an outlet? I mean, like, these are actually useful. So I grabbed some 1-footers, 25s, 15s, 10s. So I've just got like a bunch of these around now. And like Matt said, it's the gauge of the wiring in your wall, so you don't have to worry about, over and
all that stuff.
They work super good. I really do like them, and that's a genuine recommendation. So
and what John was saying too is like 12 is what's usually running in the walls. That's standard. 10 to me makes it even better, so you don't have to mess with all that stuff. Like, you're literally going overboard on purpose. Nice. Especially if you're running like if this is what I have my 150 watt plugged into. It's just, I like to have that kind of stuff. No messing around.
Word.
And I think if I had $1 for every time I was 5 inches short of a foot, man. Yeah.
Here is the link if you guys are following along to the xTool RA2 Pro, which we had Anthony talk about for us. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kyle. 10% off plus code LaserEverything10 for another 10% off. Kyle, you are the only one who is going to be able to vocalize what we are looking at here, so please do so.
Yeah, so this is kind of a wild kit, and actually the pricing is insane. So at $17.49, I thought this thing was a steal already. So I've been testing this for many months now. We have some short content out already, and we have long form content, like at least 2 full videos worth of projects and setup, maybe 3 coming. and I've been using this to knock out Christmas ornaments like you wouldn't believe. Because
what is it?
It is an indexing table, is what you would call it if you came from like the EasyCAD days. In Lightburn, it's repeat marking. And this is essentially, if you guys saw my video that I did generating a circular jig and using repeat mark, this is like the straight line version of that, but better, because you don't need necessarily to cut out a jig or a fixture to make this work, because you have the little indexing fingers that help you line stuff up. So for example, actually, and we'll get to it further down the list, but I've been doing 2, 3, 4 different kinds of ornaments that are different shapes and sizes. And this allows me to just use the fingers to align them. I don't have to refixture or jig anything. It is literally same positioning for everything. And you just align one and you can do hundreds. It's really nice. So
nice. So it like moves.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to use it as an indexing table or a repeat marking table either. You can actually use it as an extension axis as well. So if, for example, you have a 110 lens, but you want to mark a 600 millimeter sword with a unique design all the way down the blade, you could do that. It's fantastic.
Dude, I was just going to ask you that, because I did this bronze plaque and it took literally like almost 3 days to engrave into this thing, because I had to use a 150 millimeter lens. And I was thinking, if I had that deal that Kyle had that slid along the x-axis, I probably could have used my 110 and just gone along and then gone that extra distance, and it probably would have cut the engrave time in half because my energy density would have been higher.
Yeah.
Nice.
And speaking of the man, the myth, the legend himself, this is Ben over at Maxi. And he says, think of it as a pro level slide extension for your Galvo. Nice. That is a fantastic way to think about it. So I've used this on the fiber, I've used it on the UV, and I've used it on the CO2 Galvo. It'll hook up to anything that's set up for 2-phase 4-pin standard aviation connector.
That's so good.
And the way they sell it, you basically can also get it as a package with the setup to wire in your own rotary driver. So if your machine isn't set up for rotary at all, or if it's set up for 3-phase with the wrong connector, you can wire it properly yourself for this and swap it over.
Mike was asking about the travel size.
It is 1,000 millimeters, and it's 700 millimeters of travel, I believe, if I remember correctly. Wow, so the whole table is 1,000 millimeters.
Yeah. I feel like our shout out right now is not doing this justice. And I think the thing that makes it so impressive, reportedly, according to Kyle, is just how precise this thing really is. And so I'm really looking forward to editing and producing that content that Kyle shot.
And I know there was a short he did. If you guys saw the cards that he did in the shorts, they were just spot on every time, like bing, bang, boom. It's happening.
Yeah.
There are more coming. I can't even tell you how many Christmas ornaments I'm doing right now, and this has been incredibly useful in saving my patience. Yes.
I think when we get those videos out, it'll do a lot of justice to just how cool this thing is. So if you're having trouble wrapping your mind around it right now, don't worry. We've got some really, really great videos that Kyle's put together for us to show us exactly how this thing works. And I'm looking forward to sharing those.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yep. I added this one. So one of the things with reopening the shop is I have been taking jobs. In our first 4 days open, we've had 3 customers, one almost every day, which has been really cool. And I have a pile of 3 customer stuff sitting on my front counter right now because I don't have anywhere to put this stuff. So I just need like a cheap cube shelf. There are far more expensive cube shelves that are made out of like particle board or whatever, and you have to like assemble them, and that all seems just like a lot. I just need little cubbies. I just need little sections to put people's stuff in while it sits and waits to get done, and then sits and waits to get picked up. So usually what I'll do is each customer gets a cubby. I throw the order form in, and then I throw their stuff in the cubby, and it just sits there and waits their turn. And I think this is going to be perfect. I haven't ordered it yet, but I've looked at a lot of these, and I'm pretty settled on this one, just because it's not holding 500 pounds. You know, if somebody brings in something that heavy, it just doesn't need to go on the shelf. But most things people bring in, knives, watches, urns, whatever, this shelf is going to deal with no problem. And it gives me a verticality in storing these things on this shelf to get the customer stuff up and out of the way. So I settled on this, and I thought that I'd share that with you guys because it's novel and we haven't really talked about it on the channel before. $35 for 20 or 16 storage cubes is good enough for me. And if I really need more, I can just order a second one. So that's how I'm going to be solving that problem. Electronics, I won't spend too long on these. These are all things that I sent to Kyle as well, mostly because they're things that I recently bought for the shop while we were setting it up. I wanted an inkjet printer and I wanted a color laser printer. The inkjet printer is almost like nothing. It's one of those mega tank ones. Canon calls it mega tank, eco tank from Epson, whatever. Super dope.
Super mega.
Matt knows the eco tank thing is the way to go.
It is super awesome.
Yeah, this printer is really good. Works over the network. It works on my Linux computers, which is really nice. And it's $149, which is virtually nothing for what you're getting. Also, and this one's a little bit more expensive. It's Arch Linux, by the way. This one is substantially more expensive, and it's because it's a color laser printer. Most laser printers are black and white. Laser printers are wicked fast. They have really, really, really good resolution, and they can print on things that normal inkjet printers can't. Like I've got some foil sticker paper. It's just like silver foil. If you try to print on that with the inkjet, it just like globs up.
I have done that before, and it's really nice.
Yeah, it's a big mess, and the laser printer just spits it out perfect every time. So laser, $610, but it does give you full CMYK color printing on some weird materials. So if you are looking for either of those things, I've had them for a month and a half and I really enjoy them. Another thing I've added is this little universal power supply. I have a benchtop power supply that I use for testing things, but this has been really good for testing lasers. I just am now in the middle of taking apart the fiber, which I'm trying to film for you guys so you can kind of follow along on the repair journey, but something is dead and I don't know what it is yet. But the little 12 volt, being able to just hook it up with like the little alligator clips, I can literally just plug the end into the alligator clips and the whole thing's on an extension cord and I can just run it over to my laser, has been extremely convenient. Being able to test things while the laser's put together instead of having to take everything apart. I really liked having this as an option, and so I thought I would share it with you guys just in case you again needed something like this. It just ended up being something that I needed, and for $20, I don't have any complaints. It does what you tell it to do. You set the dial, it puts out that much voltage, and it'll go up to 4 amps, which is pretty substantial. It's certainly more than enough for what I'm using it for.
That looks wild, man. That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's like a cool little China knick-knack, I also bought like 3 or 4 of these because I have a bunch of those WorkPro workbenches all around the shop, and each of them has a few outlets on it, but apparently not enough because I keep coming up short. So I grabbed these again, super happy with them. It's a metal casing. They do what they're supposed to do, and they're only $19. And yes, I did just pay $36.99 for the 4 that I bought. So this is a real deal. And I like it. It comes in different sizes too. So if you really, you really got to compensate, you can get the 15-footer. And let's see. I'm trying to roll through. I don't want to bore you guys here with all this. Amazon Basics 27-inch monitor.
Oh, that's me. That's me. All right. So this isn't on sale right now if you look, but it's $110. So if you're somebody who's looking for an upgrade, or if you're looking for something to replace an older model, This thing literally comes with like all of the different bells and whistles that you would see on a normal gaming monitor, but it doesn't have the like hertz basically to like be, you know, so if you're somebody who doesn't care about gaming, if you're somebody who doesn't really care, like Alex is a YouTuber and he does all this stuff with art, and so if you're someone who's pretty much like me and you're just looking for like a basic monitor, I feel like this is going to be on sale. I don't know if it's going to be, but I feel like usually Amazon on the day of has big deals, or maybe on, was it Cyber Saturday or whatever, like Cyber Monday. There you go. So keep an eye out for these. I did buy 2 of these for my teaching computer, is basically what I was going to tell people. So I've got 2 of these set up for my laptop. So if you're somebody who works from a laptop, or like Alex was saying, you're looking for like a really cheap monitor that can show people. Like it's got 4 USB 3s. It's got a deep digital display, like the digital port display. It's got HDMI. And the nice thing is it connects like the normal back where you can just plug in something so it can go on an adjustable setting. It's really nice. So for $100, if you're somebody who's looking to add that second one, or you're trying to set up a station, kind of like Anthony was saying too, I think last week, or really the last couple of weeks, where you're setting up a showroom, having something where the people can see it nicely for $100. I mean, it's hard to beat that, you know? So just saying.
Yeah, dude, $100 for an IPS monitor, 1920 by 1080.
It's really nice. I have 2 of them.
Oh.
I literally have my laptop and it connects to 2 of them, and they're great, man. Like I got that plus the dual monitor stand, which I think we have on the buying guide as well. The dual monitor stand was like $40. So basically for $250, you've got a double monitor setup for your, you know, thing that can swivel and have different heights and all kinds of stuff. So it's
the
really,
only
really
thing
nice.
that I'd warn you about, and I'm not 100% on this, but I don't see any kind of like VESA.
No, I'm literally looking
this.
at it right now. Like it has the VESA. I'm like, I put them on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
how does
like,
it connect down here?
No, so that picture doesn't have where it's got. So like,
turn
it around real quick. Like turn it to the back where you can see. Put it dead center underneath the buy AOC. Like see buy AOC right there, and then move your mouse down to the middle. Bam! There's a plate right there. There's actually 4 holes right there. There's no plate; it just screws right in. So it's pretty nice. Like that's, and because that was my concern too. But when it got here, I was like, oh, it's mountable. Nice. Okay, done.
Nice.
So for $100 for somebody who doesn't care, it's a great deal. And if it goes on sale, even better.
Even better.
Very nice.
To close up shop today, we are getting towards the end here. We're just going to talk about some stuff from our sponsor, Johnson Plastics Plus. Just because they're Johnson Plastics Plus.
Oh my God!
Just because they're Johnson Plastics Plus. Just because they're sponsoring the podcast doesn't mean that any of this stuff was picked by them. There's no advertising budget. This is just stuff that they have on sale right now that I like. If you've been watching the show long enough, you know that I do my best not to be a shill. I genuinely like the stuff that we advertise for them. And so that is the kind of stuff that I'm sharing with you guys today. That's my little disclaimer right there. So I'm going to go ahead and just start clicking. We just talked about these. Just talked about these last week. These are, so first of all, let me just say, everything that I'm about to show you is 25% off with the coupon code THANKS25. That's THANKS 25. The prices that you are seeing are not discounted. So you get 25% off this listed price that we're looking at right here.
Right now.
Yep. Because you guys aren't using the normal Laser Everything discount code, which is YLR-ZDF, I would like to just kindly remind you that we don't get credit for the sale unless you click the link. So please use our affiliate links. They're in the description, and they're also the ones that are in the spreadsheet here. But we did just talk about these. I added this one because you guys really like them. I don't remember. Was it you, Matt?
So I can
Were you
tell
big
you,
on these?
So for me, I've had really good success with this. These are really easy. If you scroll down a little bit, like mouse down, like no, like sorry, the like pictures. Yeah. So if you look through them, they're super easy to engrave. They look really nice with a UV laser. These look dope. They're doing color fill. I've never messed with color fill just because my people have never asked me to, and I also would probably tell them no. So it's really easy. But just saying, they're really cheap for what you get. For a package, $13, you're getting it's just a no brainer. So
yep.
Yeah,
they are really pretty.
Resin saying they have a clearance page for even further discount items. So yeah, definitely take a look around there every now and then too. Yep.
Yeah, they definitely I like these because they look modern. They just have like a really modern
and what's nice
vibe.
is they can match different like setups, or if like a lot of places have black or gray or white, and so basically depending on the realtor, and they usually have good eyes for aesthetics anyways. They know which ones to get, and then you just make it pop. That's all you do. That's the nice thing about a lot of these products.
I will point out to keep an eye while we're moving through JP Plus's website, because they do change how they're charging for things. So this is $13 per package pre-discount, and that is a 4-pack. So you are getting 4 for that price, which is going to end up being like $9. So pretty solid. Moving along, these we can look at all at once. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. They're glass ornaments, guys. There's a circle, a hexagon, which I really like, and a square. Again, pricing is per package. It's a 12-pack. So yeah, if you need glass ornaments, boom, there's an easy way to get them. I think most people that buy these are sublimating on them. So you have a chance as a laser owner, especially if you have a UV, but even if you have a CO2 or a diode, I think Anthony would argue, you have a chance to stand out here against a crowd full of people that look like they printed and slapped a sticker on one of these. You can do something really elegant and nice, I think, including photos. The UV is actually exceptionally good at doing photos on glass. So
one of the guys on our Discord just did a 3D engraving, the 3D grayscale engraving on glass with his 10-watt UV, and it came out friggin' splendid. What? Like this thing was amazing.
Yeah, look at this now.
Yeah, go on the UV chat on Discord. But yeah, that's another use case right there. You could do something really cool and stand out versus, like Alex said, somebody that just printed something out and slapped it on the glass.
Yeah, what was the
these are essentially, by the way, these are basically the same ornaments that I've been engraving. Mostly the circle and the hex ones, which are after this one, but they engrave really nicely.
I'm on the, now you've like kind of piqued my interest. I'm on the UV Discord. Is this right what we're looking at? Yeah.
Yep, that's it, man. Gary the Pig.
Yeah, pretty wild. Gary the Pig, dude. Classic. Look at that Santa, dude. He looks like he's gonna whoop your ass.
Right.
that is a coal leaving Santa. That is wild. That's very cool.
He's angry.
He's angry. So yeah, I just did the math. They're $250 a pop.
After
with the discount.
Code. Nice.
Yeah, with the discount. So again, thanks 25. We'll get you 25% off on this price. So they end up being around $2.50 a piece, which I think is fine. I would charge way more than that for these ornaments.
Yeah. So for the ones that I got, I usually charge, and remember I did like 300 of them. I charged $8 a piece. So just saying, you could easily charge 10, 15.
A huge number of the things that are on sale by Johnson Plastics Plus for this Black Friday season are sublimatable things that can also be engraved. So again, and that kind of argument I think is going to make a repeat appearance as we kind of shuffle through this. But imagine the photos you could do on just like simple wood ornaments. People that are printing them, it just, I don't know. I think sublimation's got its place, but I don't think it's here. I think our laser work really stands out on this kind of stuff. Here we are looking at another case deal as well. So this is $25 or 25 units per case. So if we just take that case price, 48, and we multiply by 0.75 and then divide by 25, you're looking at $1.50 for stuff that's pre-cut, pre-drilled, ready to go. If you have a CO2, of course, you could cut your own out of sheet material, but if you don't want to bother, or you want to hang these like in a showroom, which is something that I'd like to do, I think it would be a lot easier to just buy them outright, which is something I may do pre-Christmas if I have the time.
And the nice thing too is if you have someone who has a nice image, you could still do that image, and then on the back side you could engrave it especially too. So just saying, there's lots of different ways to go with it.
Yep. A couple other things that I found personally interesting. I really like the frame. This is not the photo of the frame that made me fall in love with it, though. I saw this one. I really like this idea right here where they're actually engraving away the corners. Yeah. This just looks great, man. This looks really, really good. And I think you could do some serious work with this.
Some good money.
Yeah, no, that does. It looked right. And I was like, man, that looks pretty good. So you can grab these frames. They're a little expensive just for what they are, but I think the sale price gets them down to more
$15,
along, like the area where they should be. And it's alder. So this contrast that they have mocked up here isn't even that much of a stretch. You should get some really nice contrast out of that wood. Next up, this one was pretty dope. It's a wood photo album. Again, you could probably make your own one of these, but it's going to take a really long time, and this one's already done. They are, again, rather expensive, but they're nice. They just look nice. It comes with all the little photo inserts and stuff already. It's hinged. It's like good to go. I wouldn't buy a ton of these, but I'd buy like 3. I'd buy like 3 of them and put them on the shelf. You know, you never know who's going to like walk in and be like, oh, that's sick.
The colors on those kind of remind me of like, I think it looks like rosewood and acacia to me. Is that what that is?
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what it is. So this is rosewood and maple, or maple and walnut. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the hardwood, nice. But to me, this is one of those things where basically if you're looking at someone who's graduating, or if you're looking at a wedding, or you're looking at like a big anniversary celebration, like this is the kind of thing where people don't mind spending money on it, and getting it 25% off is kind of a, like you could grab 2 or 3 of these and just have them, you know, to for when that customer comes in. So
yeah. It also
my mind went straight to weddings with that thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
A super cool use for it.
I feel like the picture isn't really doing it justice. I haven't held one of these, so you know, take my opinion on this with a grain of salt. But the fact that it's 2 4x6s stacked. I mean, this is 8 inches tall, and it definitely doesn't feel 8 inches tall when you're looking at the picture. So I don't know. That's just like a weird photo
nice
thing.
To have something like context.
Yeah, and so I might pick up a couple of these just because I really do.
4x6 photos. Holy shit!
Yeah, dude, it's like a thick boy. That's what I'm saying. It's like a lot bigger than it looks in the picture.
I don't know if I have 200 pictures.
Not me neither, dude. But you know, I mean, if they're buying going to end up being $100 photo album, yeah, definitely. I picked these cutting boards. Johnson Plastics Plus, guys, they have a billion bamboo cutting boards. We've already talked up and down about what to use to mark those, how to mark them well. And I'm tired of talking about them. I really like solid wood. So I'm showing you guys their solid wood cutting boards. Particularly the maple's fine, but maple doesn't have the best contrast. The walnut looks really nice, and you will get such a dark, like just gorgeous mark on this, especially if you're like, walnut's amazing, dude. And you just like mark this whole thing with like a 300mm lens or something. Like, man, that would be spectacular. It's $39.71, but you get the discount, and it's solid wood, right? Not bamboo, for the larger 11x17 inch version. So it's a little pricey, but you know, shipped, if I'm already getting free shipping from other stuff that I'm picking up on an order with them, I think again, with the sale price, it gets it down to where it should be, rather than feeling a little too expensive for me. So I thought I'd share that one. And then we do have acacia here as well, solid acacia cutting board with handle and leather hanger. People like to hang these up, you know, it's kind of an old people thing, but I do like acacia. And these are far more affordable, far more economical at $11.45 each. So if you do need some cutting boards and you're sick of all the bamboo stuff that they have at Big Lots, these might scratch the itch for you. And then let's see, they do have slate ornaments. Slate's super easy to drill through with a drill press, and I learned that because I just made an 8x10 photo for somebody on a slate like placemat. You've seen the larger placemat style slate kind of like placemat things with the little foam feet on the bottom. They wanted to hang that, so I just like rolled the dice. I was like, I guess I'm gonna see if I can use the drill press on slate, and it went through it like butter. That said, I think the per each price is still pretty good on these, especially if you don't want to do the work and cut the twine and tie all the knots. I think this is about where it should be after the discount. So if you're looking for
real quick to add to that is that they're treated like if you hit like mouse over the picture one more time.
Yeah.
Like these are already treated, so you see how nice and glossy looking that is. It's going to give you a really nice contrast on your burn, so that you basically pull that out of the sleeve, zap it, wrap it, and you're done. Like that's the nice thing, and it comes with sleeves and everything. It's like this is like what you can give to a people to hand out, ready to go.
Yeah.
That's what that extra 50 cents a piece is worth.
On this particular item, like I would probably be trying to make my own, but I'm not trying to make my own on November 26th. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the thing that's going to come in clutch when you're trying to get stuff like last second and you want to get it up and in front of people before the holidays are come and gone. So that's the reason I really appreciate it.
With the discount code and everything, I'm kind of comparing this in my head to like a slate coaster. And a typical slate coaster is usually like $1 when it's not on sale. And that's kind of the going price you're going to get it at when you're not paying out the nose for it, or getting it on a super deal. That's like the average. And when you get them coated, pre-coated, these are already pre-coated on both sides. So not only are you getting a surface coating on the top, you're getting it on the bottom, and you're getting twine. And it's basically the same price you're paying for like a standard premium coaster.
And then,
so it's a pretty good deal.
Last thing too is
a lot of labor you skip.
This is the easy gift you can give out when you have like customers, and it's got a QR code on one side to like come back to your webpage or something like that. You know, like just something to get your name out there, whatever. You drop it off, and it's like, oh yeah, I just wanted to bring you a gift. Oh, thanks so much. And you put your QR code or your information on the back side, and you put their logo on the front side, and you just drop it off. You know, say hey, thanks. We just wanted to meet you, show you what I could do for you. And my QR code to my website's on the back, so you can take a look at some of the other stuff that I do. It's just easy marketing.
Yeah, any place that you shop at that has a Christmas tree up, just bring it to them. Be like, hey, I thought this would look good on your tree.
Same thing with this guy right here. Yep.
Yep. I think all the vast majority of those same talking points apply to something like this. It's not a real sliced log, guys, but it is real wood, which is nice. And they're a little bit more expensive than the coasters, but I think that people really like these, and I think they're in right now. So you can definitely make some money on these for sure. Have you guys ever sold any of the sliced log nonsense?
No.
I've bought like the real wood ones, and they always end up cracking. So the benefit to this would be it's not going to split like those.
And they're all going to be the same size,
or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind trying these out. I might pick up like 5 of them just to mess around and see what kind of damage I could do, for sure. Next up, leather coasters. Again, convenience factor, guys. They're they're cut, they're ready to go. You mark them. Have a nice day. JP Plus usually ships their stuff in nice packaging too, so you have that as well. And this isn't faux leather. This is like the real deal stuff. Just a simple veg tan. These I have a ton of, and I've never marketed them. I have all the maple ones because when I bought them, that was the only kind they had. But the reason I wanted to share it, the thing that caught my eye, was the rosewood ones, which looked really good. I thought that looked like super nice. Yeah, I thought that looked super nice. So, despite the douche on the front, this I think is something that would be popular with my customer base, and I want to pick up some of the darker rosewood ones because I think they look pretty good.
Buff with some gold rub and buff would be like chef's kiss, man. Like I love the way that looks.
Yeah, totally. So I just added these to my shelves out in the showroom. They're all blank. I haven't marked a single one of them, but it's something that I want to push a little harder because I feel like it's an easy sell. Or even an easy upsell if that's something that I'm already looking at. And then we've got this guy right here. It's the little guy, the little 1.5 by 2 inch. Yeah, the little guy. I have these, and they're just on a hook in my shop, and people buy them all the time when they see them as like an impulse buy. So boom, there they are. Let's see, it's a 12 pack, 1995, so like $1 and change.
Yeah,
for those guys
after 25%.
Yep. Pretty dope. So,
and those are also really inexpensive advertising tools too.
Yep.
Anytime somebody does, like the first time they come and bring me some work, I'll throw like my logo on one of those credit card size bottle openers. I'm gonna probably invest in some of these too, because those look like they'd go on like a key ring pretty easy. So
yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Definitely. And Black Friday, guys. So once you use our link to get to JP Plus, you can see all the other stuff that they have on their Black Friday sale by clicking through the pages here. There's a lot, a large amount of it is for sublimation, but there is some engraving stuff in here too that we didn't talk about today or have talked about in previous episodes that I didn't really feel the need to rehash. So if you want to scroll through and take a look and see if there's anything that we missed, there is a good bit of stuff that we haven't directly talked about on sale here as well. Again, over at jpplus.com, which is the sponsor of tonight's episode. Thanks, JP Plus. Thank you.
Woo.
We got 2 more things to talk about.
Go for it.
Did we? Kyle said something about Eon laser. Use our link to buy a really expensive laser. Black Friday sale ends November 29th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So they have a little FOMO counter, and let's see, deal number 1, free Galvo laser. Okay.
That's why I put it up here.
Yeah, get a free EMP Galvo laser when you purchase an Eon CO2 laser rated 100 watts or higher. Cannot be combined with pre-order special, customer loyalty discount, or any other promotion. That's pretty sick. Yeah. So what do you have to do?
It looks like they also offer a 100-watt MOPA now, which is crazy.
Yeah, so they list it all. Basically, the more you spend on your CO2 laser, the more opportunity you have to get a nicer.
The bigger your fiber gets. Nice,
correct.
Nice,
and that's
nice.
it. And so there's really, that's it. There's no strings. There's no nothing. It's just like buy one of these that are 100 watts or more, get one of those. Boom.
Yep. And it looks like they have some pre-order specials on the red lines.
Yep. And so those are coming out. I think they said the first quarter. I think they said from the first quarter. And then some other stuff going on. But basically, that was it. Like, I just wanted to make sure people had the access to that. That link is in our description below. And it's also in Kyle's compiled Google document that he had too. So just putting in a couple
I want to know how it went when they were like, Emily, we need you to hold this laser tube.
You know, she wrapped in Christmas. Oh, she made that prettier. Are you kidding me? Like, they were like, here, hold this. And she's like, no, like, I'm going to make this pretty.
That's funny. I do enjoy that. All right, cool. So we got some Eon sales.
John said, I ordered my Aeon/EMP this way, and they're really easy to work with. And it may be better if the various tariffs do end up getting enacted, because some of those are already stateside. So,
and then Kyle, you wanted me to add the Longger Nano, which is something that you've had in your possession. Did you want to talk about that for a minute before we close out?
Yeah. So there's the Longger Nano, and then there's the Longger Nano Pro, which you can see both of those there. But I have the Longger Nano Pro that they sent over for me to check out, and that's still in testing. I did get an early one, and it did have some stuff that I needed to give them feedback on, and they've been very super receptive, and their customer service and help has been great. But surprisingly, while this is basically brand new, it's already 42% off for Black Friday. It's not quite as good of a deal if you get the Nano instead of the Nano Pro. It's like a $200 savings, which doesn't feel like a lot for the amount of power that you lose. So if I was going to do this, I'd probably just go for the Pro. But the nice thing is there's a couple different packages, and you can kind of pick the one that you want. So the big boy package kind of has the rotary, the extension axis table, an enclosure on top of the enclosure that you get. So you get 2 different enclosure options. Cutting plate and a portable bag. And when I first got it, it was literally listed for like $18.99, I think it was. So it is actually like 42% off. And then the next one down from that is just the standard Pro set, which gives you a lot less stuff. Basically,
Do you
it tunes it down.
Do you like it overall?
So far, yeah. I didn't know what to expect from a Galvo diode. It's a lot faster than I thought it was going to be.
Sure.
And I guess in fairness, I probably should have gauged that off of you playing with the F1. But it does do very good. I've primarily been doing a lot of cork with it. I've been dabbling with some stonework, which is something I don't do a lot of, which has actually been kind of interesting learning experience for me. And maybe I'll do a video on that. And a lot of little dog tags and some smaller wood projects, some bottle openers, stuff like that. And
it is reminiscent of like the Laser Pecker 2 back when I had that. It's kind of like got that form factor to it.
Gizmo. And
that laser was like $3,000 when it came out. So I am glad that the diode Galvos are coming down in price, because $699 sounds a lot more like what I would want to pay for something, the way that I would end up using a device like this, than some of the higher price tags that we've seen in the past. So overall, just industry in general, I'm glad that the price on these kinds of lasers are, seem to be coming down.
What's the workspace on that? Just a 100, 110?
It's going to be 100, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's 110, something like that. With the extension axis, I believe they rated at 100 by 300 or something like that.
Ooh,
the thing with these,
it was also light burn compatible.
Yes. So
I think. Go ahead, Kyle. Sorry.
I was just going to say, so it is light burn compatible. I haven't had any problems with it. Like similar other machines in the industry that are diode Galvos, they're essentially treated like a gantry in software. So you don't get the Galvo specific stuff in light burn, but that also hasn't really been a huge problem for at least the projects that I've been working on, because you don't really do deep engraving with the diode, and that's primarily where a lot of people have problems with it, like with the F1 Ultra.
Can you at least use like flood fill?
Yeah. Right. So flood fill is available for gantry, so that's not a problem. Yeah, it's mostly the other feature set,
like rotating matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
you're not doing a lens correction on this.
No, and from what I can tell, you don't have to. At least I haven't had to. It's been pretty fantastic.
Perfect right out of the box.
I do. Yeah. The thing I do appreciate about these little micro diodes is that you can sneak them into a movie theater. Like that's how small we're talking. It makes the F1 Ultra and even just the regular sized F1 look absolutely massive in comparison. I mean, this is nothing. This is the size of two can Cokes. You know what I mean? Like it's so small.
Of you sneaking it into a
I would do it.
It basically
made it in, guys.
It basically flat packs. So that little portable bag, that's
cool.
I'm trying to think of the little cases.
Probably the Game Boy size.
Yeah, it's kind of like the soft pack like switch cases that you would get.
Oh yeah.
Where it's kind of like a hard shell, but it's fabric on the outside and it's soft on the inside. But it has a hard shell structure in it. So it doesn't really, it's not going to get smashed unless you like absolutely try to destroy the thing through the case.
Yeah.
It's got a decent level of protection, and the machine itself and the power supply and the cables soft flat pack into that portable bag. So it's something you can totally safely bring somewhere, do projects with, and then safely get it home, and it shouldn't
always
get destroyed.
Use protection when you smash, for sure. Yeah.
There's also a little fan on the back of the little cone, which the cone is a little finicky for me. And with that, I'm going to be turning a lot of my testing toward the second enclosure that comes with it. But the little fan on the back of that cone has been nice because it it does pull the crap through that little hole in the bottom front and pull all the soot straight out, so you're not like making your lens filthy.
Sure.
But yeah, otherwise it's been nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Good stuff. Well, it's a good way to end it.
I got two
more.
more.
Oh my God. All right, go.
Real quick. They're super fast because we've already been going long. And this is just where we can do the whole all of us. Is this it? Nope. One all of us. Where'd Alex go?
You kicked him out.
I didn't kick him out. He did.
I kicked me out, I think.
No, I was gonna say I didn't do anything. I was literally sitting here and I was like, whoa.
I'm tired.
So
it's
really
a 90-minute episode.
Yeah, it is. I was just gonna show you really fast though. 2 places that we don't have affiliate links, but I saw these and I thought they were important for us. Because I know with Christmas coming up and Q4, all the different holidays, Lunar New Year, everything. A couple of things. Number one, Jason messaged me during the show, Jason Wright, and he was saying that there is going to be a code that he's going to be sharing, I think, tomorrow. So to keep your eyes open for that. And we may have an announcement for it on our Facebook or something tomorrow. And then the other thing I was going to say was this guy, which was Uline. If you're getting ready to ship, they have a huge sale going on. And there's really no links for this from us, really. It's just Uline, like type in Uline. And then you'll see really quick when you get to here, super carton sale. So if you're just looking for blank boxes, I mean, they literally have them here by size. And these are ridiculous prices for some of these boxes. So, I mean, what's the average size of a cup, guys? Like 4 by 4 by 8, probably.
Yeah, sure.
So
or maybe by 10. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just whatever, right? So 8 inches, 10 inches. I mean, yeah, 8 inches is good. So, I mean, for either way, you're paying 50 cents a box, basically 43 cents a box. You do have to order 25 minimum at a time. But I mean, for $12, you just got a box of 25, like boxes for shipping. So just one of those things that makes it really easy. You can put your box inside of another box. And it just go take a look over there because these are really, really cheap prices compared to the rest of the year. And anybody who ships and knows about purchasing boxes, just like a lot of stuff. So anyways, that was all I had.
Make sure that you guys go and visit ballchain.com for all your ball chain needs. If you need a ball chain, go to ballchain.com.
Proudly
visit them.
My ball and chain's on the couch right now.
They've been making ball chains since 1938. They're the best ball chains that you can get on the internet.
The internet.
All right.
You're getting the real New Yorkie on the internet.
On the internet.
Over there and get to quarantine.
I got a favor to ask if you're still here.
I technically
if you've gotten value out of this episode, or if you've enjoyed hanging out, smash that like button. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. There's a really devastating fact in our YouTube analytics that like 93% of the people that watch our videos aren't subscribed to our channel, which is heartbreaking among other things. It just really leaves a giant void in my chest. So if you want to help me reach emotional stability, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the little bell. I know you guys love hearing it every week, so that you get notified the next time that we go live. We've got our big band of regulars, and you guys should join them because they're the best people ever, and we love them very much. If you want to support us in what we do, in everything that we do, head over to masters.lasereverything.net. That's the Laser Master Academy. It's the #1 way to support the channel. Got a bunch of bonus goodies over there, hours of live footage that's not on the YouTube channel, and an amazing community, just like the best. There's so many people that are there helping every single day, plus we're there, so you can get help from the staff, and we've got courses, and we've got other resources. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff over there. If that sounds like too much for you, though, you can head over to lasereverything.net/support to find out how else you could support the channel. We've got a couple other Patreon subscribers that have just signed up this week, so I need to start adding them to the credits list, I think, because it's actually starting to grow. So thank you if you've just recently signed up for Patreon. We appreciate you as well. I think that's all I've got. There's a link down in the description to the spreadsheet, and slowly over the next couple of days, in little pockets of time, I'll try to get those links actually added to the description of the video. So make sure you click those links to help support the channel with affiliate sales. It's not a lot, but it makes a difference, and it doesn't cost anything for you guys. So we appreciate you using those links too. Is there anything else that I'm missing? I haven't already covered, boys?
No, we got it all. We're at an hour and 40 minutes. We are great.
Sweet. Smashed it, in the words of Directed Tech. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really do genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. And we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.